Well, he was talking to me the other day because I'm trying to write a show called Science, and he's sort of going to help me out with some of the research, and I want him to do something on the DVD for it, right? And he was talking about it, and he was talking about he says that in the future they reckon we'll be able to soon. He said they'll be able to take us into space, and it's going to cost us £150,000. Said, what's the point? There's nothing up there. He said when they went up there, right? He said when Louis Armstrong went in 1966, right? He said it was nothing there. So there was him, a fella called Buzz. There was one and third bloke that didn't even get out of the spaceship. He said he went all that way. He didn't get out to stretch his legs. How good can it be? Forget it. That's him summing up space exploration.
Don't you agree with that? What's the point in going up there?
Because you're
are we talking about the finger in the arse again here, or space?
What is the point in going?
Because you're expanding, you know, human endeavour, aren't you? And the human understanding of the world and the universe. It's like, what else are we going to do as a civilization, as a people, if we're not constantly searching and, you know, and reaching out into the far distance?
But there's nothing there, though.
I know some people you grew up with that haven't left their street, but that's not everyone.
But what is it? What do you mean there's nothing there? That what has got to be there for it to be a worthwhile? Like,
just something.
What,
I mean,
like,
to be honest,
what would you be happy with finding out on the moon?
video?
Just something. I don't think they looked hard enough anyway when they got there, because they seemed to get out, have a bit of a dance about, and then they came straight back. And I sort of think, you know, did they look properly?
It's not a day trip, is it?
But what I mean
But they
is...
took that car out there, didn't they, and drove around a bit?
Yeah, but only a little bit. What I mean is, say if an alien landed in Africa, there's not much there, so they'd go...
What do you mean there's not much there?
Well, it's a bit barren, isn't it?
What, Africa? Just in general?
Well, anywhere like that, the desert or whatever, what I'm saying is, have a good look round.
Probably where all life came from, and probably 500,000 species of animals live there.
Buildings and that, and stuff.
Oh, buildings.
Well, just stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, did they look properly? Or did they just land, get out, go, oh, bit dusty, whatever, right, let's go back? I just think it's a bit pointless. Especially when we haven't done everything there is to do here.
Go on.
Well, I don't know, but I'm sure there is stuff that needs sorting out.
Well, I know the place that there's no medical man has been in this room.
Yeah.
There's definitely an unexplored cavern sitting right in front.
All right, Steve. Would you go to the moon if someone said there's a space?
He doesn't march at a concert because he's scared his glasses to fall off. Of course he wouldn't go to the moon. They'd spin him round in training, his glasses would come off, and that'd be it. He'd feel sick.
My worry is I'm not sure would I be able to wear them under the helmet?
Imagine him!
Like, I went paintballing once, and I had to wear the glasses underneath the mask, and of course it was a bit hot weather, it was awful, it was steamed up in there. Still, I couldn't see anything, I got shot straight away, I was out of the game, it was pointless. You know, it cost me like £8.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that fit anyway, do you? You're only sort of sat there.
Well, not, well, yeah, but what are you talking about? Think of G-force alone and weightlessness. Of course you've got to be, what?
I think when you said think of G-force, he thought of G4. The follow-up winners in Pop Idol. I could see it as his eyes glazed over.
I spoke to my dad about it, and he called up saying, "Oh, I'm sick of
we're
hearing
going to
about
get
this."
some quality thinking here. Go on. Go on.
No, he was saying about global warming and that.
Yeah.
He was saying he's sick of hearing about it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's just the world, innit? We're all getting old, and the world's getting old. That's the end of it.
Brilliant! What another amazing quote.
Well, it is. What we're trying to do. This is what I'm saying about we don't like people to get old. We're always saying, oh, we can change that face, we can lift your chin up, we can put a wig on you. And
Why are you so annoyed about people wanting to live a little bit longer?
Because enough's enough, is what I'm saying. The world's the same. It's just getting old, and you know, it used to have more green on it, but now it's gone a bit bald, so it hasn't got as much green. It's got more soil. Treat the world like a head.
That's an amazing quote.
If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, it doesn't learn that much. But if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up alright.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah. Driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean is, there's certain things that I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its man was a bit of a rumman. You know,
A rumman? Where's that?
No, just like, you know, she liked going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Right, which I don't want to go over.
Sure, it's old news.
It's out there, isn't it, if you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it, because it was a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
Right? Which was a surprise, because, like, you know, the man wasn't that good-looking, the dad was a bit rough. But it came out, and she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it, because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had, because everything else was always sort of
Second
down and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby, right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went.
Right.
And I'm not talking getting old, I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looked rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head. Its hair.
It what? It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North
stressful.
American Indian. What do you mean, a patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
It's God, sorry! What do you mean?
That's what he did for his.
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, what is it that makes a person? Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learnt all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least he can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it, and you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
No, that time when I was in Wales, and I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that,
Yeah.
I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fella was walking down below.
Jeez.
And I missed his head by, like, inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or, like, off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons, isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, "Wait, Carl, what are you doing?"
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off here. I just picked it up and chucked it. And, like, as I let go of it, I noticed a fella was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra. Right?
Alright.
You live
Okay.
and you learn. So the woman who's had the kid, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great!
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that!
Good luck, just let your 7-month-old baby roam about.
You know, Stephen Hawking. Imagine Stephen Hawking listening to this show. You know, he's putting together the formulation for the universe, but he's going to listen to a little bit of monkey news from Karl Pilkington.
Imagine Stephen Hawking emailing us at podcast@rickygervais.com. I mean, that would just blow our minds, wouldn't it? He's got time to do that. That he's got the inclination to bother doing that.
He's always online though, isn't he? He's always hooked up.
Is he?
Well, he's always got that little computer on. Why not? Sure, that's one of the perks. You can just bung an email out whenever. I'm not having a go. I just made. That's what I'm thinking. He's sat there with his little computer. Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, I'd probably like to have a chat with him about space and that, because I can't get my head around it.
Carl, you can't get your head round frozen foods. What a chance are you going to have with the universe?
No, but just putting stuff out there. It freaks me out when I'm lying there in bed at night and I think about how this world. On Friday, right, I was in bed with Suzanne and I said, could the world fall? Right?
It's like something from Chicken Licken.
Wow. That's a hell of a bit of pillow talk, that.
Isn't foreplay hell? Oh, God.
But I'd like to sort of have a chat with him because I reckon he could put it in a way that I could understand it.
There was an animal in the paper today that I've never before seen. It's called an alpaca. They are gormless looking. The fella who breeds them said they are easy to look after because they're used to harsh conditions because they normally live in the mountains. The problem with this is they will turn useless eventually, and then if we tried to bung it back on the Andes, they won't like it. It's like how people win these live like a star for a week competitions. They're not good for anyone. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If something's living somewhere...
But he's not
But
going to
why are
send
we
them
gonna
back
bung
to
it
the
back?
Andes. He's presumably breeding them for something else.
Yeah, but say if eventually, you know, the world's getting busy, there's hardly any room, and we go, right, what can we shift here? What's getting in our way that we can shift? Well, those funny-looking things came from the Andes, bung them back. All right, then let's put them back. And they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving, they're dying out. Why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now of the...
Sorry, this is not
This
with
is the
yourself.
whole scenario.
This isn't happening. They're angry about it, like it just happened and you're sick of it. None of this has happened
No,
yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But
It's
you're
like-
getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Carl. Not once have
That
I
was
read
an
here about
argument
your
with
anger
yourself.
about terrorism or international, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here, some fella's getting a load of praise because they've brought this weird animal into the country, and yet it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I mean, I feel guilty when I open a bag and a fly flies out of it, and I think, where's that come from?
What bag are you opening with bat flies? What bag?
No, just when, like, you know, the bag had set the computer home in. A fly flew out of it, and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Whoever brought that from? And it's the same thing. It doesn't want to be somewhere else. It was where it was. And that's the same with this Polaco, or whatever.
Oh, God! It's amazing! It really is the ramblings of a madman, isn't it?
Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert, and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird how stuff's being found on eBay.
No, it wasn't found on eBay, though, was it?
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules, isn't it? It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
I'll tell you what, I really feel sorry for people with, like, neighbours from hell. Because it's, I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's justified, but I can see why people go mental with someone when they're bullied or, you know, constantly harassed and no one cares. And when you can't go to the police, and go, there's a bloke next door, he's got his television loud, he's always pissed, he's shouting about, if you don't do something, I'm going to go around there and crack his head in. You're be the one that...
But isn't it your own fault for living in central London?
Well, not really, because it wasn't always like that. I'd been there years, and then all of a sudden, you know, good fellas turn up. They sat down there making a racket. What can you say to them? You call down, they can't hear the phone ringing.
Could I just say that Goodfellas wasn't a pizza joint? He called the loud people that because he thought they were gangsters, because they did what they wanted and sat outside and...
Yeah.
So, but it's louder, I think it is louder abroad than it is here. Whenever I go away on holiday, I always notice that it's always a couple of decibels higher.
Really?
Always. Like the sound of bird noises and that are louder abroad. Because they're trying to get a nut above the noise of the noisy people.
No, that's not true.
They are. When I was in, where was I? Menorca or something. It was like lying there. If it wasn't a noisy local, it was the people in the villa next door. If it's not them, they suddenly collected the bottles from the bottle bank. That's a nice noise when you're just relaxing. The bottle bank. Pop that there where the villa is. So that was a racket. There was always there was just so much noise.
Animals, creatures.
You can't escape it. It's the one thing you can't escape, noise. Your ears never turn off.
No.
They're always there.
But I've told you before, wear earplugs if you have to.
I don't like it.
But he doesn't like. He says he can hear the sound of his own art.
Well, there's always a sound. Like your eyes, you can close them. My eyes close all the time, and if I don't like the look of something,
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
if I don't like the look of something, they close before even I've thought about if I want to see it or not.
What do you
They're
think?
ahead.
What do you think exactly?
I just mean if I see something on the telly or like one of those casualty programs or something,
Yeah.
it's like my eyes know that I'm not going to like the look of it.
But no.
So they close
no,
quicker.
No.
My ears, they seem to be interested in everything. Even though I'm not.
What I mean is, you can't close your ears.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't.
what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't. You can never.
So that's
no,
why
I like the idea that your eyes are closing when you. I was watching that.
Yeah,
what are you doing,
have your eyes ever closed something that you're going?
No, they normally get it right.
Your eyes aren't
They
making
normally
any
get it
decisions. You're making decisions. You turn away because you don't like seeing something. You don't turn away, and then you're going, "What was that?" And your eyes going, "You don't want to know. You do not know. You don't know."
I'm just
Carl.
saying anyway.
Lovely pair of tits here. Oh, I can't believe it.
I just mean noise pollution. It's the one thing you can't escape. Well, I heard, and you told me this, so I know it's true. Do you know when I talked about replacing blood with ink?
Yeah.
They can do it, not with ink. With coconut. What was it?
Well, one, it said coconut milk can be used as plasma, but I haven't had that verified because it's off one of those websites where there are spurious facts. I've seen facts like the impala's fur is just nearly the same colour as grape juice, which I don't know who's that aimed at. I don't know, you know. It's so.
Well, what do you think of that, Steve? I mean, I've sort of touched on it.
But I've just got to echo what Ricky said. I can't have an opinion unless it's been verified.
But why aren't you just being open-minded enough to go, well?
No.
But
That's
that's
not
not a
being
question of being
open-minded. Open-minded is being open to the facts that, you know, the possibility. Open-minded isn't believing everything you hear. You don't believe everything you read, do you?
A lot of stuff you kind of go, well, that's interesting.
But what we talked about this. What about Noah's Ark?
What about it?
Well, you know, you said you believed it because it's in book form, but according to that, didn't he get 2 of every species on a big boat? But we know that's impossible, don't we?
Depends where he was. If he was above a zoo, there would have been a lot of different stuff knocking about. That's my only problem
A
with
zoo
that.
hasn't got 1% of all animal species.
No, but they've got more. What I'm saying is, where was he floating where he could get an elephant, a giraffe, a cat, a dog, a gerbil? Where were all these things floating about?
Well, exactly.
Right,
That's
these
my
Old
only
Testament
downfall.
zoos, they were quite
Yeah,
quite
but
big,
exactly.
really.
But you're right. You're questioning it. How is it possible?
But I've just said, a zoo.
But what are you talking about? A zoo? As I said, there's no zoo that has got 1% of all animal species.
Well, I don't know where he got them from then.
There's a couple of million species of animal. And how did he round these animals up?
Because they were drowning, so they were looking for any boat.
So they were actively seeking out an ark.
Well, they would have just been looking for anything to get hold of.
Yeah, and where did he keep them all? How did he keep them all separate? How did he...
At that point...
Oh no, the lions at the otter.
No, because at that point, it's that thing, innit, of how you all pull together in a bad situation.
Talk shit.
You all chip in, they're all like, oh god, you know, let's be nice to our neighbours.
Right. So there's spiders talking to flies and...
Well, they would have just gone elsewhere, wouldn't they? They would
What do you
have been
mean?
on another bit of the boat. The spiders don't have to knock about the lions just because they're all in it together. They get their own little area, don't they?
Well, I don't know. How big is this boat? How
It's big, it's a big boat. How long, what was the warning he got from God to make it?
I don't know.
It was a couple of weeks.
He probably had the Extreme Makeover Home Edition team. They all chipped in. Probably had Queer Eye for a Straight Guy helping him out with some of
The interior design elements.
Yeah. 2 of every species, Carl. How big would this boat have to be?
Yeah, it's big.
You can't just keep saying it's big, because I know in your mind, you're imagining this ark that's a boat with Noah up the front with his wife, 2 giraffes behind him, then next there, 2 elephants, and it just, and it's just like elephant, giraffe, hippo, dog, cat, weasel, couple of frogs, and a spider talking to a fly going, let's get on, but when we're off here, you're dead.
But what would you have done then? Are you saying that you wouldn't get on there because it's too noisy?
It's not a question of what
it didn't
you've
happen.
done.
It didn't happen.
To be honest, I'm not bothered, and they got through it, didn't they? They got through it. They're here now. We're not short of them. If anything, like I said, he didn't do us a favour because he saved too much. You can't move out there for stuff.
Okay, we're trying to get more cerebral now in this podcast. There's a lot of science here, real science. Maybe we should call it a spodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right because I don't know anyone who's ever got this right. The pressure is. One, asking sensible questions, and when I've told you the answer, to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so, there's 2 doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven,
Right.
one leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical, you can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's 2 guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what? One to both?
No. One to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not the
rules are you can only ask one. There aren't actually 2 doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. It's a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. They're identical. The guards are identical. But the one guarding hell always tells a lie, and the one guarding heaven always tells the truth. What question do you ask?
Can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's
You
no
can't get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah. What do you ask? What do you ask? What question do you ask? Come on, you only got one. Quick, this is it.
So, they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling.
Yeah.
But one of them's not really smiling, really. He's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question, if you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah, well, the one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. These things you know.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these 2 guys get on.
I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. They know who they are, and they know that the one guarding hell always tells a lie, and the one guarding heaven always tells the truth.
So I know that.
No, they know it as well. It doesn't really come down to this, Carl. This isn't what's going to happen when you die.
But when is this useful then?
Because it's a logical... Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
But there's no shame in not getting it.
It's a
There's no
tricky one,
shame in not
yeah.
getting it. It's a really hard one to get. I mean, the shame is the ridiculous questions you asked. And now I'm going to tell you the answer.
No, hang on, right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go,
Right, hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those 2 guys. Okay, right?
But we have to, well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding, okay?
Right.
Look away, Carl.
Okay,
Right,
then.
so we've decided, okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right, I'll just say to you, Steve, I'll go, got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some post for God here.
No, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the
Alright.
question's coming. You got some post for God here, yeah?
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let him finish.
Is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
You ask me. Yes.
Look, lads, I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. It doesn't help. That doesn't help. Let me tell you the answer. You ask either one of us, you say, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? Then whatever they say is the door they're guarding. Because if you happen to ask the one guarding hell, right? I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil, Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven, because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so he'd say hell. So you know I'm guarding hell. If you ask Steve what door I was guarding, he'd tell the truth, right? So he'd say heaven, because he'd know I'd lie. So he's guarding heaven. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling though, isn't it? This is what life...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think, because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So...
They're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Is that ever justifiable? Do you think, Carl, that people sacrifice for medical advancements?
They do it now, don't they? You hear about these people having, tests done on them. You get paid 20 quid and they say, let's rub this cream on your head.
Yeah.
And you get your 20 quid, and if your head goes funny, they say, well, you took the 20 quid, it's your own fault.
Wasn't that student that took a few grand?
He became the living elephant man, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
It was quite horrific. His head was in all kinds of weird shapes.
I mean, that's unfortunate for 20 quid. But I'd say do it on the ill people, because they've got nothing to lose. Just test it. It's, all this testing on animals and that. Well, don't test it on animals. If you've got an itch, the doctor can say, I've got this cream here. We haven't tested it. It might work. It might make it worse. Give it a go.
Right.
Yeah, but the whole point is that if you do that, someone's head might blow up to the side of the elephant.
It might outweigh the ailment.
That's happened already. A fella who had nothing wrong with him has now got a head of the elephant man for 20 quid.
Yes, I know. Well, but...
That isn't fair.
No, I know. But you're saying, you're going for athlete's foot, rub this on your feet, your bollocks fell off. Never mind, it was a chance we had to take.
I mean, that's a particularly sloppy bit of medical research, that one.
I know, yeah.
No, but say like my Auntie Nora, right? She's had everything wrong with her, right? She's had tablets that haven't been tested on anyone else. They test them on Nora. She's up for it. She's like, oh, I haven't had that. Let's have a little tester.
Yeah.
She loves it. But she knows that that's the case, and she's happier to give something a go than not a go. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of stuff. She rattles. She carries that many pills. Like a maraca. You can hear her coming. But that's the way her life is now. She's just used to the fact that if it weren't for all these tablets, she'd be dead.
Yeah, but well, not necessarily. But the pills. She doesn't take pills that have been untested. She's not taking experimental pills.
I think she's honestly, she's got so much.
Well, so again, you just made that up. Then you just assume that they haven't been tested on someone. Where'd they get them? Where'd they get these pills from that haven't been tested?
Well, it's all very new. She's on a lot of new medication. That can go either way.
Could this be one of the reasons why she farted for 24 hours?
It could have been one of the side effects.
5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes, was it?
Yeah, that's what my mum said. It's all the medication because your body's in shock, isn't it? It's been, given all these drugs that it's not used to.
Luckily, some of the pills weren't suppositories because she'd have lost them in the great fart of 1989. I've lost all my suppositories.
But that's what you do, isn't it? If you're in pain And I mean, like, I don't know if I told you when I had kidney stones,
I think you mentioned it.
I was in agony,
Yeah.
and they said I was in A&E, lying on my back, and the woman at the A&E counter said to Suzanne, "Who's that over there?" And she said, "Oh, he's with me. He's in agony." So they said, "What's up with him?" I said, "Oh, it's his kidney stones again." Because this is when I went back at the night. I was like, I couldn't care that people were staring at me. I was rolling about on the floor like a dying fly on my back. I just didn't care about what was going on around me. But I was told that because it's busy, that they might have to send someone out to shove like something up my arse that would get to the pain quicker.
What do you mean send them out? Well, they send what?
No,
while
no,
you're
no,
lying
no,
on the
no,
floor
no.
in A&E, they're going
I
to
think
stick something
so,
in
yeah,
your
there
arse.
was
What do you mean? Oh, you mean a pill? I thought you meant to get to your kidney quicker than up your knob.
No, a pill. They put it up there, and apparently it'll kick in quicker.
Yeah.
The tablet works quicker
Yeah.
up your arse than it does down your throat.
Yeah, because
Did
it's
you
a
have it
mucous
done?
membrane and it's...
Well, I was up for it. I just was like, whatever it takes. Now, saying that to me now...
But
now,
hold on though, what if the doctor said, okay, I could give you this morphine, take it, it will take a few minutes to kick in, or I could rub some on my penis, I pop an orange on the end of my penis, I rub that in morphine, and I pop that out of your rectum, Mr. Pilkington. Are you in agony or not? Are you in agony? Okay, look, I'm just smearing...
I'd say I'll get a second opinion.
Well, no, you haven't got time. There it is. Do you want this up your arse? It's covered in morphine. He's in his private life he's a promiscuous gay man, but in his professional life he is a doctor with a morphine smeared penis, and he's ready for action. So if you're
And he's willing to do that in the middle of A&E.
yeah, so
He takes no pleasure from that.
it's
He's
the
just
only
willing.
way. So are you in pain? Do you want this done or not? Yes or no?
He comes out into A&E reception, his trousers around his ankles, he has an
Yeah.
erect penis, he says, "Carl, do you want me to stick this up your arse?" And your answer is,
Yes or no?
you're in terrible agony.
He's wearing a condom. He smeared the condom in. I mean, it's not unprotected morphine penile surgery. Administration.
And what? In and out, done.
Just in and out. Yeah, it just administered your arse takes on the morphine from the Dr. Penis. And it's the only way, really.
In and out.
Yeah, in and out. Up once, okay, and out.
And it'll definitely work.
You will. The pain will go away.
No side
It'll be
effects.
pleasurable,
No side
if
effects.
anything.
No side effects. No.
I'd probably call Auntie Nora and ask if she's had it yet.